So a bit of a morbid one, but when certain murders are done, like open eyes in front of the public, it causes a problem. Fan bases. So to be famous, you are somewhat protected. Not perfectly, but you are quite a lot more protected than you are if you're a nobody. A nobody can be killed openly and nothing will happen unless you've got protections. And what do those protection mechanisms look like? Well, there's a load of different mechanisms that you can have in play. I'm not going to divulge all of them, but let's just take Princess Diana for example. If anybody would have openly murdered her, and anyone were to find out that she was murdered, let's say, but it was made to look like an accident, that amount of uproar in the nation of Britain, where everyone was mourning, everyone was crying, then people would have targeted the murderers, and there would have been no amount of, well, curfew that could have stopped it, because the whole of the UK would have band together and annihilated any group that actually did that. You see, that's the thing, during that moment. So you couldn't openly go out and take her life. So it would have to be done in a covert way, so hidden, or done to make it look like an accident in a certain way. Interestingly, you look at this with JFK in a certain way, that there were a lot of people out for the guy, that the trigger man, let's say, and that goes to prove I don't know how much power there was there with JFK, to be honest, with his fan base, but even still, again, with Trump's assassination attempt where it caught his ear. Now, if that had have happened in that way, then a lot of Trump's supporters would have definitely have gone absolutely fucking stir crazy about it. And then it becomes not impossible, I don't want to say that, but it then the attacks then come more covert. If someone had the person wasn't caught or whatever, then it becomes a covert assassination attempt, and that may look like an accident or however else. So I think that with certain level, it protects you, right? So people that go to prison, this is interesting to me, they get out on good behavior. Why? Why were they able to be so good? And then within 6 months to a year of getting out, I think that they become a red flag to people. This is the red flag process, I think. That they then are good for 6 months while they're out. But what happens if people get around them that know what they're about and that they've been in prison? And then are these individuals susceptible to sociology warfare, which then triggers their internal psychology, and then they cause an absolute shitstorm as a result of that mechanism, and then it causes governments to put them in a jail, which then slowly but surely will erode the tax pot. Can this be another way that people are tested? Because we're all taught to look at psychology like it's an inward problem, but that's like, look over there, let's look at all the physical stuff that's here, shall we? And then we're not looking at this stuff that we can't see. And the brain doesn't see it, and you can't see it, so you automatically think, let's look at the stuff that's physical. Let's say if we take a drink can, or I can see my hand and I can see the stuff in this room, but the stuff that I can't see in this room is covert, empty space. So we could be focusing so much on physical that we end up overlooking the quantum in our own reality, which is the stuff that we can't see. Now, apply this to society, and if there is some sort of little battle going on, then the people are going to be the pawns in that can be weaponized by affecting their environment, because certain people have triggers that they react to it, and if they react to it, then they're put in prison, and if they're then put in prison, it overruns the prisons, and then this can be an erosion of espionage, whilst everybody is being taught to look at psychology, when actually we're missing the point of sociology. And then therefore you can slowly erode a government by everyone going into prison. And if everyone goes to prison, then it's going to be more taxes. Then we bang in a load of human rights as well. This slowly erodes the tax pot. Then this creates sociology in the mainstream of people saying, how come they get an easy life when they've done this and I ain't done nothing all my life? Do you see how sociology now plays on sociology, which then causes society to then rebel against the government? You see, this is what I would be looking at. Everyone wants me to look at psychology, always psychology. I hate it, because psychology is a weird thing. Psychology is an aftermath of sociology, or your environment, the way your environment affects you, and it really does affect you. If there was a massive meteorite hit the planet, this is going to affect people's minds. When people go to space, it's going to affect your mind. This is going to play a role. And then if you start living in space for long periods of time, that's when you understand the mechanisms of the environment is going to affect your inner makings of your mind. And this can be weaponized. And it can be weaponized for you, but it can also be weaponized more often than not against you. And then you might not be thinking straight, and then you have momentary lapses of concentration on top of this because you're so deep in this rage mindset because of the way things have gone. But how do you not know that people aren't orchestrating this and kicking underneath you stools out? Financial stools, hardship stools, and this constant push, then dig causes reaction. The reaction is then seen because this is covert, the environment changed. Can't really see that, can you? You'd have to, this is why Osiris, the computer mechanism, is so important, because it monitors your environment. Then it watches how you respond in that environment. Then when you watch that back, you then learn how your environment affects you. This is what the Osiris is all about. Now I happen to know a lot about this because I built it for this particular reason. And what's really amazing is the people that dig at you, and then when you get to watch all of this back, you're from a third person perspective. It's a little bit like the stuff that's on the board over the back here. I was talking about in a video yesterday. This teaches you a lot of stuff, because this is where I formulate that idea from. Very interesting. You can't learn about your own birth. It happened to you, and you were the one that was born, but you don't remember it. But yet you make a clone, and you are born and are able to see it from the third person perspective, but with a better mind on you now, because you're at this age, 40, 50, whatever it may be. And then you see your clone grow up, and it's sending real-time information at that moment. So that's what that's all about. And you see it. You see it. You don't only see it with your eyes, physical, you also see it from the quantum. You know it. You begin to get this data from outside of you and inside of you. When you understand how Osiris works, the computer technology, this is what it is doing. Now, I've already built this, and it has been very successful. Over my life, I've built this longer than anyone has known about it. The same with those heat panels that take sunlight. Well, I did that when I was around 7 years old. Taking solar panels and joining them together. That was when I was a teenager. Rockets. That was when I was very young. I was playing with this stuff. And then I found out how to make a generator from it. You know, all of this stuff happened when I was younger. No one has ever thought of it, and then I release it, and then everybody's thinking about it. Everyone's building it. That's like saying that two people managed in a short space of time. That's like Einstein coming out with quantum mechanics, and somebody else at the same time coming out with quantum mechanics. Just never happens. That's like having multiple Da Vincis everywhere. Leonardo da Vinci, I think it's how you say it. Anyway, whatever. That's like having multiple of them. Multiple Einsteins. Multiple Teslas. It doesn't happen. But yet now we come to this new world of where everything's put on a computer, and then everybody's building the very thing that you were thinking about multiple years ago. They didn't build it at the time when you were messing around with this. And then people that were around you at the time that knew that you were having these concepts remember it. And then they go, oi, I remember you were saying something about this. How is it that somebody else has thought up the same thing but couldn't think up another type of this, and it plays on your mind? Again, environment. When people have this higher amount of access to your life, which they do, people will claim these ideas, but the problem is they miss a load of things. They miss things that are very simple that those panels should be able to do, and they miss it. Well, why would you miss that if you were the one that created it? That's, you can tell the way things build. And it builds from a concept to another concept to another concept. And then once they've ran ahead with that concept, you bring out this concept, and then they're like, oh. And then the crowd question the other person as to, how did you not know that? You should have known that because it's the building block, the amino acid, that created the life. How do you not know that? You should have known that. That should have been first. And what, now you'll go backwards? That's a bit weird. And then it proves without a shadow of a doubt that other people have perhaps maybe taken these concepts, you see. You can only go on what you feel. And when you feel things, and then you act upon what you feel deep down, and then it reveals another layer of reality that is usually hidden from you, plain in sight. And this is an amazing process, to be honest. And then I bet the people that caused the problems were saying, hey, I was just getting it ready for you. Oh, do you mind jumping out my bed then? Oh, why is that? I was just warming it for you. Of course you were. You know, I was just doing it to build you up. Did you go through that same build-up? Well, no. Yeah, that's interesting. How come? If we're all in this together, right? So yeah, no, this is a very fascinating concept. So if you're constantly focused on one thing, it distracts you from seeing the reality. That's the thing. And then that really begins to open your eyes when you see it. And when you see it, yeah, you can't unsee it. You really can't. And yeah, just lots of things have happened that then make you create things in order to better your environment or to protect you in your environment. And there you are. That's where Osiris has come from. It looks like a mundane thing in the beginning. There's much more to it than that. Don't want to release it all. Small amounts. It's a very wonderful thing. Eye-opening. There again. Got a bit of dry skin on there, I think. Oh well, might bite that off in a bit. I'm just kidding, I won't, but yeah, I will. And yeah, I'm going to leave this one here. What do you reckon?